John. Happy, safe, and well. I want to welcome you back to another edition of Loyalty Live. In this series, we have the privilege of speaking with leading agencies, technology partners, and consultants in customer channel and brand loyalty about the technology trends and best practices that impact a brand's ability to drive unique experiences, enhance engagement, and most importantly, drive customer loyalty. Today, we have the pleasure of speaking with Rob Purdy, who is the Chief Executive Officer and founder of CarltonOne. How are you today, Rob?
I'm great. Thank you very much.
Great. First off, we love to start these on a more personal level, get to know the person we're speaking with a little bit more. So I'd love to know a little bit more about yourself, your current role at CarltonOne, and how you started the business. And it'd be great to know a little bit more about that.
Yeah, thank you. Excuse me. CarltonOne was formed in 1989. We've been around quite a number of years, initially more as an advertising company, and stayed in the advertising world until really the 1998, when we started building tech and evolved out of advertising and built initially the first ever online platform, at least in the Canadian marketplace where we're based. We launched that in 98 and continued to develop tech as we are today. So the business has really kind of two foundations, more of a marketing communications background coupled with a technology background.
Okay. And a fun fact about you, something you enjoy doing outside of being the founder and CEO at CarltonOne, just jumping out of planes. Do you have 14 kids? Do you like to run marathons? What's something you like to do outside of your role?
Yeah, I'm a really avid skier, live in Whistler 3 to 4 months a year, practice the work from home culture really well, of course, doing that. And yeah, a little bit of jumping out of helicopters for sure when we ski in the odd time, but generally just skiing the back of the mountain. So that's what
That's good. You're the first time in the couple of years that we've been asking that question that's actually jumped out of the helicopter. So I think that that's good. Finally found one. I knew the odds had to be in my favor at some point. Great. For those who may not be familiar with CarltonOne, obviously you guys have a very robust background. Can you give us a brief overview of your company, what you do, how you do it, the industries that you do it in?
Sure. Yeah. I think probably the most relevant part of what we do lies within the loyalty space and specifically around our reward management platform. In 2010, we started building out and consolidating partnerships or vendor partnerships around the world. And today we've consolidated roughly 650 unique partnerships spanning roughly 140 countries. And we built that technology up into what we call a single reward platform that allows companies through a very simple quick connect API connector to get up and running really quickly. So clients can now access around the world 10 million products. They can do it across all the different reward spectrums, whether it's merchandise, gift cards, travel, experiential, everything that they're looking for is in the tech stack. It's quite easy to curate. And we provide all of the support, including a 24/7 global order management team that operates worldwide. So it's a very unique product. It's gone through pretty rigorous growth in the last, certainly in the last 10 years, the business has exploded. And frankly, the pandemic was one of the bigger contributors to that.
Okay. When you look at the industry holistically, customer loyalty is very fluid right now. Brands are looking for ways to drive unique engagement, enhance their customer loyalty strategies. What are you seeing? What's different within the industry from a rewards fulfillment perspective? What are you seeing?
I think on the reward fulfillment side, what we've seen is it's kind of a hybrid of a lot of companies that have maybe a singular offering, be it a gift card or a prepaid solution. Others who are looking to focus more heavily on travel, but nobody's really looked at it from, I think, a broader, more holistic, cover all the bases perspective. I shouldn't say no one, certainly a lot of companies do, but I think no one has really looked at that global footprint and connected the dots to make launching a program in Poland and Thailand and Brazil as easy as it is to launch a program in North America. And that's a step that we've been able to bridge. And I think a lot of companies right now are looking for that universal ability to go anywhere, anytime, and not have to go through a process of setting up each and every vendor or setting up each and every country as their business grows and matures in other markets.
Okay, excellent. One of the things we love to get is definitions, qualitative definitions of how brands define and the industry defines certain topics. And obviously, customer loyalty is front and center in the whole discussion. So, what does customer loyalty mean to CarltonOne, and what does it mean to the brands that you work with?
Yeah, I mean, I think we look at loyalty as really having the ability to reach out and connect with an individual member to make sure that what they are looking for, we can access and provide for them. We do that in a couple of different ways, a lot of which is through self-identification. Somebody has the ability to anytime reach back out and ask a question to us directly, or likewise, we do use artificial intelligence as a way to track someone's navigation and movement around our sites so that we can have some predictive index around what might be of interest to them. And as we start to build that customer persona or member persona, we can then start to connect automatically rewards that will make sense. And that has been quite a boost. I think the other part to that is we've been very brand focused. Our sites are all about celebrating the brand and bringing sort of a much richer look and feel around the brand than simply talking about a $50 card. Not that the card is wrong, but the brand creates a lot more excitement, makes the site more interesting, and that does a lot to, I think, build engagement with people as well.
Okay. So when you look at some of the clients that you're working with, what's working, for them regarding their customer experience, customer loyalty efforts?
I think what's worked really well is that latter point around really having a different look and feel. We're more of an e-commerce site in terms of appearance. We are constantly bringing different features, different offers. We're updating every day product features, product offerings, and trying to make that site a destination so that when people go there, there's always something new, there's always something different. We even go so far, we have our own cooking show, we have our own health and fitness show. People can download the segments, they can follow along. There's cookbooks that go with our cooking shows. We're more than just simply ultimately trying to connect a product. If someone is looking for experiential, we have a wealth of experiential, and we have the ability to connect to concierge to ask more questions. So we're trying to be as inclusive, make it fun, interesting, and not simply be a catalog of really flat line items on a page. It has to be dynamic.
So basically, you want to understand the client that you're working with to understand their client needs, right, or their customer needs. So to make sure that you have the products, the services, the offerings that are going to create that engagement, drive that emotional connection, and then hopefully enhance customer loyalty.
Absolutely. And, it's interesting in that clients can curate the catalog down to whatever they choose. Generally speaking, it's pretty rare that they do. I think partly because they've now got a catalog that does a lot of that self-curation on its own. And they like the notion that this is a dynamic product, that they don't have to touch it, that the work behind the scenes that we do keeps that engagement level really high. And what we've seen is massive growth in branded merchandise being sold. We're more than half of our sales are merchandise sales, which is really inconsistent with the industry as a whole. But that's simply because, again, the dynamic around creating a salute to brands and making brands front and center doesn't mean they can't get the other things on there. Travel is also a high growth category for us. And we like the notion that we're creating those experiences for people. And that seems to be what resonates quite well with all the members.
Okay, excellent. Last year, we did a research project. We do it every year, the State of Customer Loyalty, and it looks at what brands are doing around customer loyalty, what the challenges, opportunities they see and face are. And one of the things that came out of the report is kind of this approach that many brands are taking is that they want to redo, potentially enhance, or add some functionality to their customer loyalty program because something is just not working for them. Are you seeing that as well? That there may be some program relaunches, or your clients are coming to you asking you to change something about their program, their approach, their process.
Yeah. Well, I mean, right now we're launching a large number of net new clients, quite significant actually. And again, I think it has a lot to do with just that usability that we're talking about, having a fresh look, having the ability to have a user experience that's unique and dynamic. This is, I think, what people want to see on their rewards programs today. And they want to have the ability to go in and have some sort of say in that. But in the process of making change or making suggestions, it shouldn't be a massively painful process. And so we have that ability through a widget design process that we've created where we can go out and build out very simple widgets that clients can actually drag and drop and move right into the platform on their own. So a lot of self-management is there, doesn't get used an awful lot. We end up doing most of that work ourselves for clients, but there certainly is that ability.
That's an interesting statement there. You have the ability to use it more on a client-directed manner, but you still do a lot of the kind of design development, what have you. Why is that? Is that just because people are short on staff, or they have the people that can do that, or is it more that they trust you to develop in a way that's going to be conducive for them?
I think it's the latter. I think they're comfortable to come to us and say, this is what we want to do, give us a thematic or something that they want to drive as a message and a mission with their members. They leave us to go back, do the design work, create that widget, design, drop it on the site for them to view. And if they like it, then we just basically move it to live. The cool part is we can do that work really quickly, relatively on the fly, which makes it pretty productive for them to get involved.
Okay. There's also something we saw in the State of Customer Loyalty report, but we also hear from a number of brands. There's a belief that there's this quote unquote sea of sameness, that customer loyalty, customer experience programs are very similar. Is this something that you see? And how can brands address that if so?
Yeah, it's so first off, it is, I think, a reality. We've just launched basically an enhancement that allows the client to work with us so that we can create a customized dashboard for them that's purely theirs. And it's really, think of it as a blank page. And whatever they want to do in terms of speaking to their audience, we effectively can go away and design that ground up. So no two dashboards should or need to look the same going forward. And we have 100% ability to design anything and everything that they want. The other cool part is they can also take that same thematic approach, pre-design their whole year's worth of campaigns, have them sitting with a date and time on it, and they automatically will go live on the date that they're looking to launch the next campaign. So that whole instant refresh, much like how you cycle advertising in traditional advertising world, we're doing that now on dashboard designs for all of our sites, whether it's a reward gallery or a front-end platform gallery. Everything can be designed on the fly and then stored and brought live instantly.
Okay, excellent. When you look at kind of the evolving state of technology, I think you touched on that a little bit. More technology now that can potentially help customers in a way to engage with their audience than ever before. But getting that to work well can be a challenge, right? Whether it's API or integration, or when you look at that, kind of the state of the industry, is there a technology that or a process or maybe even an idea that you think really works with your clients that the others should be cognizant of?
Well, I think really, I think we're kind of in some respects, in our world at least, we're really looking at AI as that next big thing. I think we're started down the path. I think we're only starting, and we're really just touching the surface of what AI can do for us. And so the whole machine learning, gathering data and building out that and using that data wisely going forward has massive implications for loyalty on every level. So anybody who's not kind of playing in that spectrum of designing now sort of AI into their platforms, they need to. And I think that is really relevant. I think the next play too is that whole past play. I think a lot of what's been built is static and one-dimensional, and it goes back to your earlier question around sameness. A platform as a service play is really, I think this industry is ripe for that, and that's something we're working and have worked on for the last 2 years. So we plan to bring that to market this year. That to us is also a big game changer, because it really opens up the platform for development across multitudes of different ways, building on the platform through apps and different suppliers, and uniting technology in the way that other industries have done that. So we're pretty excited about kind of the hybrid of platform and AI, and really using it to drive a whole new dimension around how we bring product to market and how clients use the product themselves in market, because those two things are really big game changers for us, and I think the industry.
Okay, excellent. If you could give one piece of advice for a brand, a marketer who's looking to improve their customer experience or customer loyalty strategies, what would that be?
I think research. You got to start with the basics. All too often we go to the end and wonder why it didn't work. I think you got to begin and understand your members, your members' pain points. What does that journey look like to go from someone who's touching your product or service for the first time to completing a transaction? Have you built absolutely the best possible user experience? Because that's really what's separating success and failure on all levels right now. And we're just part of that. I mean, at the end of the day, anything we do within loyalty is an enhancement. But if the core message or the core offering or the core UX is not right, we can't solve that problem. And so it will only be an adjunct to something that is either really great and we can enhance it, or if something's really bad, we're not going to solve that problem. So I think it begins with research and knowing your path, your user journey, and knowing how to best connect with people to get your brand and your brand messaging out there.
Okay, great. And last question, somewhat self-serving, but I'd like to ask it anyway. What can Loyalty360 do to help you, your team, and potentially the larger industry with regard to their customer experience and customer loyalty efforts?
I mean, I think what you do is, you're really the evangelist for the industry, which is critical. The fact that we're talking today and being able to send a message out is really important. And hopefully people find value. I think this industry is an incredible industry. It's grown considerably. It's changed exponentially in the 20 plus years that we've played in this space. So, we love the space. We like the players, and we want to see this industry grow and flourish, but we need this connection point, which is really important.
Okay, great. Well, Rob, thank you very much for taking the time to talk with me today. It's been great getting to know you, as well as some of the things that CarltonOne is working on. Look forward to hearing more from you throughout the year. Yeah,
thanks very much. I appreciate it, Mark.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to join us today, and join us again for another edition of Loyalty Live coming up soon. Have a wonderful day.